Good morning, Mr. Powell. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us as part of NAACP Economic Development Committee here at the Jackson branch and as well as statewide. We want to thank you again for coming on and talk about your company. Um, with that, would you mind giving us a little background about you and the name of your company, please?
Well, my name is Roland Powell, of course, and the name of the company is Merrimack Chemical Corporation. And first of all, I want to thank God for letting us be able to get to this point in our business success. And if it wasn't for Him, we wouldn't be here at all. And just wanted to give Him a little gratitude. And also my father, Dr. Roland Powell, who was a staunch entrepreneur. He really set some precedents in place for me as far as guidelines that I've gone by, and two of those are networking and leverage, relationships and leverage. Those are two big items that he really installed in me throughout my career, and that allows you to get on solid ground with your business, and allows you to not have to look over your shoulder, do things the right way. And when I say leverage, I'll give you a good example of what he did. Back in the 80s, we had a plant in Port Gibson called Port Gibson Electric.
Uh-huh.
And he spearheaded that. He was a veterinarian. Of course, veterinarians are some of the lowest paid doctors, but he was able to use his relationships and his leverage to be able to spearhead that company in the 80s. And we were able to create 300 jobs down there for 10 years. And one of the best relationships that he had to help do that was Mr. Porter's, who was a neighbor of ours, who was a frat brother. So he used that relationship to kind of garner that business, and spearhead that business. And it lasted for 10 years. We made wire harnesses for Packard Electric, which he was the manager of Packard Electric. So that's what I mean by relationships and leverage. We were able to leverage that. And that's what we kind of pride ourselves on doing is using that to help grow. And
okay.
Of course, in the past couple of years, it's been a challenge for large and small businesses with the way the economy has gone with the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge to us as well. And to give you an example of a couple of those challenges, we were deemed an essential business, right? So we never stopped. We had to keep supplying our customers and what have you. So a lot of our customers had to work from home, had to start working from home. So that created some upsets in the processes. And two of those main processes that affected us was the purchase order process. And when you get your invoice, it created upsets with paying the invoices. And that could be a big problem for a company large and small, because when you interrupt the cash flow, that could take you out of business. That could take you under. And so, some of our customers they needed their products, right? So the purchase order part slowed down. So even though the purchase order part slowed down, we still had to supply them. So we would get behind as far as we would supply them their products and not have a purchase order in some cases because they needed it. So that was a big problem. And then once we got the purchase order, a lot of times by them working from home, they kind of got slowed down, stuff got lost. It was just a lot of confusion. And so a lot of times, instead of getting paid in 30 days, we would get paid in 60, 90 days. And again, that's a big problem for small or large company.
Yes.
So, we're thankful to the SBA with the PPP grants and with the economic injury loans. We were able to encapsulate some of those products and help fill the gaps for us. And not only did it fill the gaps, we were able to pay our suppliers on time and sometimes early. We were able to add 4 employees. We were able to get some better logistics, to help, satisfy our customers better. So we were able to sustain and actually grow during that period because of the SBA and those programs, those vehicles that they installed. And we were definitely able to take advantage of them and grow and add employees. We added customers, added some new customers, so we're thankful to the Trump and the Biden administration for implementing those SBA programs because they both had a part in it. So we were very thankful for that.
Good
And,
deal. Okay. One question for you. What specifically does your business do? What you mentioned, supply chain, things you had to navigate as a company. But so, can you tell us a little bit about the type of work your company does?
Okay, and that's crucial to what we've been doing. Also, we've been able to diversify, and when I was director of football operations at Callaway High School, we had some 4-star players, right?
Yeah.
And one of those guys in particular, Dyer Harris, he was a 6'3", 190-pound receiver. He was a 4-star. And what I used to tell him, what are you going to do to separate yourself from the competition? What are you going to do to set you apart? Everybody's 6'3", 190, running 4'5", 4-star. But what are you going to do to differentiate yourself from the competition? And that's the same thing that goes with us. We've been able to diversify and create niche markets. Okay. And some of those markets that we've been able to create is oil and lube supply. There's very few oil and lube companies in the Southeast. And we've been able to do erosion control. That's one that we added. And that deals mainly with the highway department, with roads, with streets, with rebuilding the bridges and what have you. And you're supplying wattles, silk fence, geotextile material. Another big one that's pretty unique is the bioremediation, bioaugmentation, hazmat chemicals. And what I mean by that is water and wastewater treatment. That's basically what that is, water and wastewater treatment. And we kind of consider ourselves a civil rights type business because some of those areas are not common with minorities. And that has allowed us to gain access to some fields that we haven't been able to. But to our pleasant surprise, in a lot of those areas, we've been able to see friendly faces because, a lot of minorities are, you have a lot of minority mayors, supervisors, buyers, purchasing agents. So they have welcomed us. It's almost like they were waiting for those type of businesses to open up with minorities, and we've been able to do that. And we also diversified during the pandemic to PPE supplies. That helped us a lot too by getting that industry going, which isn't very unique to the industry, but it helped us because again, with our relationships and our leverage, we were able to bring those supplies in. That helped us too. So we diversified really well. We got niche markets. And that's very important when you want to grow. I'm working with some entrepreneur students right now at Jackson State who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs. And I tell them, you have to try to get something different from the competition. And if you can't get something different, you want to try to make it better. Do something different with that particular market to set you apart from the competition, and that will give you an edge. And that's what we've been able to do. And to give you an example of our leverage and network, I'm gonna give you an example of one we're doing right now. We're involved with a mentor protege program with Southern Company out of Atlanta. It's a group of power companies which encompasses the whole Southeast, right? So by us having that mentor protege program, they have a goal of 30% minority participation. And they're really serious about their goal. They're enforcing the goal. So they put pressure on their different buyers and their different category managers to do that. And so that pressure is what you call leverage. I'm leveraging those opportunities. I'm leveraging that pressure. I'm leveraging that 30%. And it's almost like they're enforcing them to do it. So that's really helping a lot. We had a big meeting this past week over in Birmingham where if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have even been able to be at that meeting. It was at a wastewater treatment plant in Birmingham. And we got in front of a lot of different people we normally wouldn't have been able to get in front of. So I'm creating new relationships, new networks with them. And they're really serious about doing it. I'm going to give you another example. In Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, they have a 30% minority set aside with contracts. And there was a gentleman there. He might not be there now. Hubert Owens. He's from Mississippi Valley, played football in Mississippi Valley. He was the contract compliance officer. And what he did before any contract was signed, he enforced 30%. He made sure they got 30% minority participation. And that's leverage. You're using that leverage, that relationship to garner that business. And that's what I mean. So that's what you want to do. That enables you to do it the right way, to do it, get your company on solid ground and not have to look over your shoulder trying to do things the wrong way. It might take a little longer sometimes, but it's worth the wait because it's satisfying when you're able to do it.
Beautiful. I'm glad to hear you mentioned Dial. I know that he finally came on back to Mississippi and down in Alcorn to help them see some success down there. And you mentioned the students that you're working with here at Jackson State University, get them exposed. What other projects are you working on in terms to grow tomorrow's entrepreneurs or business owners, youth that you're engaged with?
Well, one big thing that we feel like we're really getting blessed by is we use our business as a platform to give back to the community and bring others along and lift others up. As an African American community, we have a lot of resources. We have big economic engines. We have a lot of great buying power, spending power, and that's what's needed in the community today. With all the crime and the shootings, we had to create our own markets, our own jobs, our own economy, so to speak, at least not maybe our own, but, to help with the economy by creating more jobs. And that's what we've been able to do the last 4 years. We've been working with a group of students in the, junior high and high school students in the South Jackson area and North Jackson area. The past 4 years, we worked with about 20 of them. And the area that we're trying to encompass with that is construction. We feel like that's a big gap with the economy now. African Americans are kind of falling behind in the construction arena. And that's a big market. So we got to catch up in there because there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of jobs. A lot of our students aren't good at STEM and graduating and studying, but they love construction,
Yes.
I haven't had a hard time finding students to work at all. And they're very good at it. They're very excited about it. They always ask me, Mr. Powell, when we're going to work, when we're going to work. They doing a great job. They're learning. And when I say construction, I mean areas like landscaping, painting, roofing, paving, carpentry work, those type of areas. And the market is very conducive for that, especially in Jackson and other areas across the country. Jackson isn't the only area where you have a lot of people in the rental property now. You have homeowners. It's a big market for them to work in. So that's a lot of opportunities, and we can just reach back and grab some of those kids, take time and use our resources on them. It'll really help, and it'll really help decrease the crime, and it'll help decrease the shootings, because they're going to be busy. I have land. I have the old Valley Street animal clinic building on Valley Street. What I want to do is create a construction school right there, convert that whole block into a construction school teaching construction. And, we're working on that. Hopefully we can get some resources and funding to help with that because, we got to do some rehab and construction over there to do it. But I think it'll make a big difference in the community by engaging these students, because a lot of students don't know what's available. They don't know the opportunities that are out there. I mean, not only construction, but of course the medical arena, the educational arena, the sports arena, so we just got to engage the students and let them know what's out there and take personal responsibility for including them, because after all, through the years, we helped create some of these deficiencies and problems. I mean, by different policies. I mean, we can't just blame it, certain segments. I mean, I think we have to take responsibility because we've created some of these deficits. No, don't you think?
Yeah, so we got work to do.
Yeah, we got work to do.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate one, your company and how you are leveraging and building relationships, particularly one of the largest power and light companies in our region. Southern company, and also how you are bringing along the youth to get them exposed and your work as a mentor in football and high school and so on. Or like I say, Diane Harris, he's one of the ones that you can see it in the way he carried himself and conduct himself. That mentoring that you were able to provide to him was definitely good, and also how you're working with the students here, and recognize that it doesn't take a whole lot to kind of bring these students in place and show them the ropes of the real world. So you have to be commended for that. But that
And
just being you the whole time.
I want to commend you and the 100 Black Men, because you all are doing a great job. I mean, we need more organizations like that. Y'all are really taking a lot of youth and molding them and showing them the way and showing them opportunities. I mean, we need a lot more organizations like what you are doing. I want to commend you all for what you all are doing, because y'all are really doing a tremendous job. And matter of fact, I read where a certain group of in another state of 100 Black Men have implemented the construction project model.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where that was, where I read that, but they're doing it in some other areas already. And I think that's very important.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. One thing here is that we would like to, if anybody's want to follow up with you, give your name and how they can contact you, and then also if there's any words you want to say to the state chapter of the NAACP.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for having me as an honoree. It's a very big honor. The NAACP has played a very important and pivotal role throughout the history of our struggles, and continues to play a pivotal role. And I just, I'm just very thankful and honored to be recognized. And it takes a village, like you always say, it takes a village. So that's part of the village. We want to continue to garner support from you all and others, and as we want to support you all too, and in our struggle, because there's a lot of challenges out there, and you all are helping with the challenges even now. So I look forward to working with you all in the future and continuing what we do.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Mr. Powell. Again, it's Mr. Roland Powell, Jr. with Mac Chemical Corporation here in the Jackson, Mississippi area. But as you can tell, he also works regionally, and we are very proud and very happy for him in his business, as he's had a chance to update us on his start, and as well as how he is a good corporate citizen by reaching back and pulling a lot of our youth up and everything. Thank you, Mr. Powell, and you have a great day and continued success, sir.
Yes, all right, thank you. All right, bye.
To encourage branch community engagement, the Mississippi State Conference Economic and Housing Committee held a branch outreach contest for 2021. Our NAACP members are doing the work, and oftentimes we may not hear or see what is being done. At this time, it is my pleasure to announce the 2021 Economic Committee branch winners. In third place, I think of this branch as a quiet storm. They are engaged in the community, and especially the president, who emphasizes the A for advancement in the NAACP. Third place, Hancock County. President Gregory Barabino offers a musical and hip outreach to engage his community. Several highlighted projects include a community garden that has been established for 6 years, feeding the elderly and homeless, hosting park events for 10 years, and the most recent project is saving and rebuilding the Martin Luther King Jr. Park in Waverly, Mississippi, after decades of neglect. As he puts it, it's not about a park, but the park is a start. Although battling with a few city officials and working on the project for 18 months, the vision of a community park that allows freedom of play and imagination, congregation, and peace will soon come to fruition. Congratulations, Hancock County. Second place is another Mississippi coastal branch. People in this community are aware of the branch's existence, know and depend on the leadership. Members are engaged throughout their communities, and they have strong community partnerships. Second place, the Biloxi branch. Under the leadership of President James Crowell and Economic Chair James Johnson, the Biloxi NAACP branch has been movers and shakers in the community regarding economics. They have grown stronger with the many partnerships and trust that they have built over the years. Although there are many projects, initiatives, outreach, and engagement they've done in 2021, one important economic initiative includes the East Biloxi Project, a large task the branch has been spearheading, spoken out about, and have had boots on the ground to help get established. The outcome of this project will elevate the East Biloxi area by providing housing, eliminating the food desert by adding a grocery store, and other economic resources that will benefit the community for a long time to come. Congratulations, Biloxi NAACP. And for our 2021 first place Mississippi State Conference Economic Committee contest winner, drum roll please. None other than the Jackson City NAACP branch of Mississippi. Under the leadership of President Ms. Dolores Lee, Economic Chair Jamel Clark, Economic and Housing Co-Chair Ricky Jones, and Housing Co-Chair the lovely Miss Lynette Sutler. Events throughout the year range from voter empowerment, education, registration and engagement, redistricting involvement, providing essentials for senior living communities and other areas, conducting school supply drives for the youth, providing assistance in educating the community with PPP information and small business funding sources, advocated and partnered with providing rental assistance and utility resources for those in need, facilitated laundry support services, and distributed bottled water in the community during the water crisis in Jackson. The Jackson City branch has been engaged during the trying times of the pandemic. Congratulations to the Jackson City NAACP.